Hey guys, so this is the finished product of my Nexus 7 car install, and obviously it's not actually installed in the car yet. That was what I was hoping to make this second video about, was how to hook it up to your power and get it into your car and looking all nice and making it work. And I'll make the next video on actually with this in my car running and show you how all the features work. But for this second one, what I decided to do is, since it's minus 25 degrees Celsius out there, I'm not really too willing to go out there and put this in right now. So I'll make it for Subaru Legacy owners specifically on how to get this looking OEM set up in your car. So what this is actually the OEM bezel. On some of the JDM Legacies, they come with nav option, and the nav option is actually what this looks like, which is the center is cut out and you have the nav screen there. But to get that retrofit into your Legacy, it'll probably cost you about $200 US, which is ridiculous in my opinion for a little piece of plastic. And actually I think they've been discontinued now. So for non-Legacy owners, you could probably buy a Nexus 7 kit to replace your doubled in space, or maybe the Nexus will actually fit where the doubled in came out of. But for us Legacy owners, it's a little bit harder. So what I did here is I took the OEM bezel and I broke it down, and I'll show you how to do that in the next second or so. And then I turned it around here, and I took my Dremel and dremeled into the side of the vents here, and placed the Nexus in there, placed some glue on there, and I did that on both sides. And then I took some electrical tape and put it on the top and bottom. And the reason I did that is because this Nexus actually doesn't fit in there perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap on the top and on the bottom, which you need to cover up. But once it's in there, it looks perfect and OEM. And I bet if I didn't tell you this, you wouldn't be able to tell yourself, is that this is actually black bristboard that's been super glued onto the top there to block the light gap. Together with the electrical tape on the back, nothing gets through. If I shine this light right there, it's nice and sealed off. Looks perfectly OEM. And same on the bottom, same on the sides. The only thing that you probably can see here is that I nicked the bottom of the bezel a little bit when I was dremeling it, and that's just my mistake. If you guys do it yourself, you'll probably do a bit of a better job than me there. The only downside to this is that the vents actually don't work anymore, and that's not a big deal to me. I mean, the air's still going to come through, it's just you're not going to be able to adjust which way the vents are pointing. But the tablet works fine like this, it looks good. All the features and software work. I covered that in the last little video I made there. If you saw, my airplane mode was on while the screen was off, and then when it turned on, everything came on, the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything that you would want when your car is actually running. And if you want to check out my other video to see how I've done the software here, that'll give you a good idea of what you need to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play how I broke this down, how I made the entire thing, and you Legacy owners out there can try and do this a little bit better if you want. And yeah, enjoy guys. It's really simple what you need to do here. Basically, it all kind of unbolts. Kind of looks like they even made it with the intention of you being able to break it down like this. All you need is a screwdriver and some attachments here. You need a Torx head, a rather large Torx. I don't know the exact dimensions because I've got this spindle here, and Phillips heads. So what you'll do is you'll take the Torx head, and there's a screw right here. There's one here as well, and then same on the other side. There's one there, and there's one there, and I'll remove those two first, and then show you what to do from there. And now all you have holding these two things in are these three clips on the side here. And those are super easy to get out. You can just take a screwdriver and lift them up if you're having problems, but this one, nice and easy, just slid right out. On the same side here, or the other side I should say, comes right out as well. What you've got is a bezel that looks like that. So we're going to continue with the teardown here. For the next phase, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. So I'll swap that out. And first thing we're going to remove is the cubby here. this one screw right there. Boom. Next thing, your information panel. And boom, that's out. So what you got left is this thing here. So I've taken a Sharpie and marked off the parts here that I want to cut. And I'm going to go ahead and take my Dremel and cut those off and see how it goes. I'll remeasure with the Nexus after that and reassess. So I finished up with the Dremel, and this is what I'm left with here. It looks pretty good except for that little part that I screwed up there. I cleaned up the parts that I had cut, and it looks like the Nexus that's probably a good thing that it doesn't fit that way is gonna work pretty nicely in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this out because you see I have some ridges there, and I'm going to see how the Nexus fits and update from there. So I've done a little bit of dremeling out here, and I've had to cut a lot more than I thought I would. I can tell you right now it really doesn't look pretty, but when the tablet is in there it actually does look pretty good. It fills up the space nicely. It's maybe a millimeter too short, and what I'll do is I'll put in some sealant around the corners to make that look right, and I'll give you a shot of what it looks like after. But you can expect to be taking a lot out of the sides here, and what that does is that actually holds the tablet in there, so you don't need to do any kind of gluing. Okay, so here you can see I've finished up and installed my Nexus 7 into the thing there, the console. And it's not perfect, I'll give you that. There's still a few gaps, you can see them there. You can see the light coming through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some kind of sealant, or maybe just put a black plastic thing behind there, and that'll cover up the light gaps, and it'll prevent any problems with the border touching the screen that might cause some touch issues. So I had to do a lot here. I had to completely remove the back of this vent here so that I could run that cable into the power. I had to cut into the sides of the actual vents here so that that's what's holding my tablet in. That'll make it a little bit easier to remove it if I need to. And then the other side, you can see I've just cut in there, and yeah, it's not looking too bad. From the back it looks horrible, a lot of hacked up stuff in there. From the front it doesn't look so bad. Once I put the sealing on there, it'll pretty much look completely stock. So the last thing I'll mention here before I go is what to expect in the next video. The next video is going to be the bezel and the Nexus installed completely in the car with the power setup and all of the features and how they work. So if you stay tuned, I'll give you a run through of this actually working in my car, how you can get it to be hooked up in your own car. Stay tuned.